Oh, shoot.
Good morning, team. Welcome to the team call. We're going to act official now and watch Denise eat her banana. I hope y'all are doing good this morning. I am so happy that we have Shay on today to give us a presentation, and I'll just chat about a couple quick things, one at the end. And one, I just want to open with, hey, Shay and I were joking around that I do not look my best today. I'm in my jammies, still got my jammies on. So it's one of those days, one of those seasons in life where, you go through, so there's a few of us going through some challenges, some hard things. And I said, you know what? You still do the team call. You still hop on in your jammies and business goes on. And that's just an example that this is how life rolls. So sometimes when we're going through hard stuff, I actually talked about this very subject in my boot camp Zoom last night, that you think you're alone, but actually there's several people in my boot camp, several people on the team that have private messaged me about some of their struggles. And it's no secret that I've had mine, and my 16-year-old is putting us through some challenges currently. And you know what do we do with that? We still take those steps forward. We still think, like my boot campers, where would they be today in those challenges if they weren't doing this boot camp? And the resounding answer is they're doing so much better because of the boot camp than they would be if they were going through these same challenges and hadn't done it. So yeah, it's not perfect. They're not getting in all their workouts, but maybe they're staying on the meal plan, and it's like with us and our team, where would you be if it weren't for the team right now going through your challenges? Where would you be if you weren't a coach today going through these challenges? And the answer, I'm sure, is not in as good of a place as you are right now with connecting with the team, still staying accountable to your workouts, even if they're not perfect right now, or your meal plan, or, where would your business be? Where would would you have any extra income? You know what I mean? So think about, where would you be if it weren't for this? It's not always going to be perfect. Sometimes it looks like a mess, but that's okay. We keep going. And in a month from now, another month, 6 months from now, you're going to look back and go, man, I am so happy that I didn't stop, because unfortunately, that's life. Sometimes we go through awesome times. Sometimes we go through challenges, but we keep on keeping on, right? Right, Shay?
That's right. That's right. Dadgum.
Dadgum. So with that, I'm going to turn you all over to Shay. She has an excellent presentation for us today that I'm really excited for her to share with everybody. So thank you, Shay, for being on.
Oh, thanks, Holly. Yeah, and thanks for making it okay to not be your best. I think we've all had some challenges. I know Holly has, and Holly knows that I have, and I try not to share it all the time, but it's kind of a rough week for me. So thanks for everybody being on here. And the good news is if you're not on live, Holly's going to record it. So me and my glasses with my tired eyes will be forever imprinted upon your memory. Before I jump right into the slide presentation, because I know we have a time limit and I'm going to have to kind of bust through that. There are two things I want to tell you. The first one is, don't freak out if you're watching the presentation. You're like, oh man, that's a good question. Let me write that down. Because I just posted in the Team Drive to Come Alive all of these slides in a notes format so that you can print them out and go back and ask yourself the questions again. And that's really what I want you to do. The team call today is going to be about really trying to find out who that perfect customer is for you. Like, who is the person that you are really meant to help, and how you're going to better be able to identify them when you see them, and therefore make your life much easier. Because if you're working with people that just totally get you right off the bat, then you don't have to work so hard. Right? It's a little easier. And you don't have to really work so hard to gain their trust, because they already trust you, because they already like you and relate to you. And those are the people that we're going to try to figure out who they are. And so if something's going off in your brain while we're doing this, you can go back and look through these. And what I want you to do is, you don't necessarily have to watch me talk about it again, but look through the slides when you've got a minute that's quiet, and you can really think through that process and write down the answers for yourself. Because I will tell you that I've now done this exercise probably 2 or 3 times. And every time I do it over the last year and a half, So it's not like I've done it 2 or 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Every time I do it, I get closer and closer to really getting this dialed in, and it just makes life so much easier. So if where this all kind of came from is, some of you may or may not be familiar with Chalene Johnson's Marketing Impact Academy. It's an online academy course that she offers once a year. I will tell you, it's kind of pricey. It took me several years to kind of bite the bullet and decide to do it. And so as part of that training, this information kind of came through that training. And so what I'm trying to do is take the information that I'm paying for and the knowledge that I'm giving and pass it down to all of you, because it really does. It's not just about providing for me. Part of being a leader on a team is providing as much knowledge as you can for the people that you're on the team with, so that we can all lift each other up and all be successful. So that's kind of the idea behind giving you guys all this knowledge. Make sense? Yes. Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and you guys get to tell me if you can see everything. Because, Holly, once I do it, I can't ever see them. So, all right. So if I do this, hold on one second. So first of all, can everybody see it? Oh, good. Now you can still see it. Yes? Can everybody see the screen? Okay. So this is Marketing Impact Takeaways. And what we're going to talk about today is, who is your lifer? So your lifer is the person that just gets you, right? It's your ideal customer, someone who totally connects with you and understands you without you having to explain it. Just like I said before, there's immediate trust. You don't ever feel like you're selling to them. You're just talking to them. And so if you think back about anyone that you have tried to help since you've become a Beachbody coach, is there somebody that you can think of that automatically you're like, yeah, that was easy. Like, we just totally got each other. She understood me. She trusted me, or he. It was really easy. So I really want you to try to find that one person and put them in your brain. But the other part of this is, what Chalene likes to say is that your lifer is you 5 minutes ago. And so where I try to start with it is thinking about who I was when I first met Holly, and what kind of person I was, the struggles I was going through, how I was feeling, and what I needed at that time. So I want to talk to her whenever I'm presenting anything, because that's the person I want to try to help, is someone who was just like me when I first got started. But then the point of that is that you actually take them all the way through the process. So the way that Holly helps me now is not the same advice and support that she gave me, what's that, like 5-6 years ago, Holly? It's a completely different relationship, but she's still helping me, because I would definitely say, like, I'm one of her lifers. Like, I adore her. I trust her. She's a mentor. She's a friend. She's part of my family. And that's a completely different relationship than we had 6 years ago. So you want to take that person all the way through that process. I hope that makes sense. And then watch me get all emotional here. So that's fantastic. Okay. So again, like, you want to think about somebody where it was just easy. Like, you just had an immediate connection and you really enjoyed helping them. And for me, I can absolutely think of one person, and I actually can visualize her. I know who she is. We still have a really good friendship today. And with her, it was just easy. She just immediately trusted me. She got me. We had the same values. We had the same thoughts about things. We had similar hobbies. Like, I know who she is. So now you're going to ask yourself, like, how old is he or she, male or female? What kind of similarities do you guys have? And I know one thing that people worry about when we start thinking about this is that you're going to narrow yourself down, right? And that's scary, because we all want to be super successful, I would assume. And you feel like if you narrow yourself into presenting information that's just going to help one person, that you're gonna take away the other people that you could be helping. But what actually ends up happening if you do narrow in on that one person is that you're the most real you that you could ever be, and you're very authentic. And so even people that may not be exactly like that person, they just connect with you because you're being super authentic. I know Holly remembers about a year ago, I had this like huge epiphany where I was like, so I don't market myself as a veterinarian at all. As a Beachbody coach, I market myself as a Beachbody coach and a mom and a working mom. And Holly's like, really? Because like I kind of tell everybody that you're a doctor because I figure you're pretty smart. So people will think that if you like this stuff, then you're smart and know what you're talking about. And I thought, well, gosh, you're right. Like I never even thought about it. I've always kept them separated. And for whatever reason, I was afraid to put them together. But by marketing myself now as a veterinarian who happens to coach because it's something that I'm passionate about and it goes right along with helping people, which is what veterinarians do. They don't really just help animals. It's more the people that they help. I'm just more real and I'm more authentic and therefore I'm more believable. So by narrowing yourself in on one person, you're actually the most real you could ever be. And that's what makes people trust you because you're not trying to fake them out. So you're going to ask yourself these questions about this one person that you have in your mind. Where do they live? Are they married, single? Do they have kids? All of these questions are really important because you're going to end up wanting to talk specifically to them. Where do they shop? I mean, we could be talking about groceries, right? Are they more the Freddy's kind of person or, Ralph's or Target grocery market? Or are they only the kind of person who shops at Whole Foods? Because believe it or not, the information that you put out there is really gonna help. Like if it's a Whole Foods person and you're talking to someone who would much prefer to convenient shop at Target and get everything done, that's gonna change the way that you present information. Then you get into things that are a little bit more defining, self-defining. Is this person a person of faith? Is that really important in their lives? Their character traits. For me, what did I immediately like about the person that I automatically go to is that she's kind and compassionate, but she doesn't pull any punches. Like, exactly who she is because she's real and she's honest and she's not afraid to show you that. And that's a specific character trait, right? Because someone who's not like that, that's going to be something very different when I'm talking to them than someone who just really wants you to lay it out there and not be afraid to be honest with them. We both have kids. Our marriage is incredibly important to us, and we're very open and communicative within our marriages. And so someone who potentially doesn't have that type of relationship with their partner would be a very different person for me to try and talk to. And then why did they come to you? And that's a super important part of it because you have an expertise. Like you may not realize what it is. This person did not come to me because I was a veterinarian, but she did come to me because she thought I knew what I was talking about because I was a veterinarian. So she figured I was smart. Who knows if she's right or not, but and she came to me because she saw that I was a person that followed through with things, got things done, and was organized. And that's something that she wasn't very good at. She never followed through with anything. She felt like she always started things and didn't finish them. And she could see that I was the kind of person that did. So for her, just the fact that I managed to actually follow through with things and make a plan, that's an expertise that I held that she didn't have. And that's something that she was looking for. Does that make sense? You can thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. All right. Look at me like I'm crazy, whichever. So then you start to think about, why did you enjoy working with them? What about serving them was rewarding to you? For me, it was watching her start to build confidence in herself, start to believe that she could follow through with something and actually accomplish it. And that I was able to help her with that, with the tools that I was able to give to her. And that's not Shakeology and a program. That's my personal mentoring and accountability that I gave to her that was able to help her. Those are just the tools that we used. But actually, my coaching her through that process is what helped her to be successful. And, any coach can sell someone a bag of shake and a program, but you are the only one who can help that one person because they may not find my coaching style helpful to them, but it's your coaching style that helps them actually follow through. I hope that makes sense. I'm looking for nods or no's. Okay. So these are kind of fun. Like, what kind of books do they like? What magazines? Do they like pop culture? She's the kind of person who's like constantly got those flipping Star magazines and Us magazines and flipping through them all the time, knows every single thing about every actor, actress, story, pop headline, all of those kinds of things. What in their life is most out of balance? What are the things that really drive them crazy? So if I knew, so if I knew that off-color jokes were something that were a real pet peeve for her, and I started doing things on social media that were these kind of off-color jokes and stuff like that, that would be really offensive to her. So that would turn her off. So if there are thousands more people like her that had that similar thing, and I'm doing that, then I'm turning all those people off at the same time. So it feels weird to narrow in on something that one person doesn't like, but there are probably a lot of other people that have those same things. All right. So that's what we're talking about, like, what can I do that would most upset her? And I always say her instead of them, because it's easier for me to relate this conversation to you if I explain it in the way that I looked at it. When I thought about like what I could do to most upset her, it would be to just completely ditch her and not talk to her or not check in. Like, thanks for buying your program, off you go, right? Like, that would be the one thing that I could do. Or to lie. If I just flat out lied to her and didn't tell her the truth about something, said, oh yeah, you look great, when she looked awful, like that, that if I flat out lied or was dishonest, that would be a deal breaker for us. And so thinking about those things really helps. What can I do to help her save herself time? What do I already know that I can help her learn? And what do they really want, or what mistakes can I help them save them from making? So, when I thought about this with that particular person, she's a super busy mom, like 3 very active children, and a husband that works really, really hard. And she was kind of on her own to do a lot of that stuff all the time. And so helping her learn how to make meal planning simple and grocery shopping simple and getting in that nutrition in a way that didn't like triple her work in a day, that was gold for her. Right. Mistakes that I could help her, from making would be like just, not being accountable to herself and not drinking her Shakeology. This particular person is the first time I ever did this, and now I do it a lot with my customers, but she started Shakeology several times and quit and sent the bad back. Bad. But, so she's the first person that I said, okay, like, you're going to take a picture of yourself drinking your shake every day and text it to me. That's what we're going to do. And if I haven't heard from you by noon, I'm texting you. And that was actually the first time that she ever made it through her 30 days, was because I asked her to do that. And that completely changed how she viewed things, because we all know it takes a while of making it a habit before it becomes something that you can't live without, right? So that was the first thing. That was the first time I'd ever done that, and I do that all the time now. All right. Okay, so now that sorry, I'm going to move you guys down here. Now that you know who that person is and you've defined them, so now we want you to take all that information that you just discovered about this person, and I want you to write it down. Like, I want you to actually, did I just flip that slide that quickly by accident? I'm sorry. I want you to kind of make a paragraph about the person with all that information in there, so we're going to have like a couple paragraphs that describes your perfect person and who that person is, because every time you make a post on social media, do a video, I want you to be talking directly to that person. So if you have, some people like to draw pictures, like, cute girl in a ponytail with a bunch of kids running around her and everything going crazy, like whatever. If you're visual, maybe that works. Maybe cut out some stuff in a magazine, but don't spend 2 hours doing it, like maybe 15 minutes. so that you have a visual picture of who that person is, because every time you do anything, I want you to be thinking about her. This is your lifer. This is the person that gets you, that you don't have to sell to, but you can just serve. And, again, your lifer is also you. When I look at her, we are very similar. Like, she was in a very similar place to where I was in before I met Holly, and that's why it was easy for me to help her, because I totally got where she was at. And we had similar personality types, or at least complementary personality types, and similar family values and morals. And so, and thoughts about friendships and relationships. And so that's why it was so easy for me to help her, because I didn't have to talk her into it. Like, she just immediately understood me. I understood her, and it was really easy. So that's why you want to find that person, and that's why you want to start talking directly to them, because the more you're talking directly to that person in every single thing you post, the more likely you are to attract those type of people. And how nice would it be if every customer that you helped, and I'm not saying this is going to work 100% of the time, but how nice would it be if every person that you connected with and tried to help, it was as easy as it was with that one person? Right? Like, we all have had clients that we've tried to work with that make us want to pull our hair out, right? Like, where you're like, this is not even worth the $29 I just made. Like, I am all done with you. Goodbye. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, that is just how it feels. So how nice would it be if everybody, and you know what, like, there are probably times when Holly felt that way about me. Thank God she stuck it out. But, but, the idea here is to try and attract more people that really do make it easier for you to work with them, and that value your time and your expertise. Okay, so that's what we've been talking about. Like, we're gonna portray, we're gonna talk to that person in everything that we do. I do like this part. What adjectives describe how you'd want them to see you? So when I think about this person, I think, like, I'd like for her to see me as dependable, as accountable, as trustworthy, as kind and loving and generous, and as knowledgeable, right? Kind of smart, and I know what I'm talking about. And those are kind of the things that you want to think about when you have a new follower, someone who's new to following you on Instagram or Facebook, or a Facebook friend that you just requested that you haven't talked to in 20 years. How do you want them to see you on Facebook? Like, what if you could figure out the exact way that you would want them to see you? How would you describe that? And then, how do you think people see you now? And that's the next thing I'm going to have you do, is look back at the last few months of your Instagram posts or your Facebook posts, both your personal page and your business page if you have one, which I hope everybody does. Then, what does what you're posting say about you? I know something that Holly says all the time is, if you look back on your timeline, would you know that you're looking for someone to join your team? So but take that one step further. If you look back on your timeline, would you know who you are? Is what you're posting really reflective of what you want people to see about you? Like, if I want people to see me as somebody who, I don't know, who enjoys humor, who is organized and good with time management, good at helping you feel less overwhelmed, understands the struggles that you go through if you're working in healthcare, understands how tough it can be to be 45 years old or 40 at the time, and looking back and going, what the heck just happened to my life? Who is that person I'm staring at in the mirror? And where did I go? Who loves my family, loves where I live, and enjoys my children and my dog. How's that? That's a pretty good, and but what I just missed in that whole thing was the fact that I'm looking for someone to join my team. How funny is that? So if those are the things I want people to know about me, but the only thing I ever post on social media are good recipes and fitness pictures, I just missed 90% of Shay. So you have to make sure that if somebody scrolls through your timeline or your Instagram post, they're going to get a really good feel for who you really are, right? You don't want to just be posting pictures of 21 Day Fix, because that's not going to describe you. All right. So then that's what you want to do. Like, what is the content that you have to say about your brand? What tweaks can you have on your social media so that you can better align with what you want people to see? And some of it is faking it till you make it, right? Like, some of it is, I want you to be real and authentic, but I also want you to put out there what you want people to see. And here's an example of that. I don't know if it's on the next one, so I'll make it go backwards. Okay. I used to think that because one of the things that I love about being a Beachbody coach is that I can always be in my yoga pants, right? I can be working at home in my yoga pants all the time and not have to worry about what I look like all the time because I work from home. And so I would pop on video, and I mean, I would make sure my hair was done. I'm not saying like I would, maybe look like I do right now, but I would not really worry too much about what I had on. I would do it in a tank top if I needed to, like whatever. So if what I want to do is portray that I have a successful home business that has replaced my veterinary income, and I want other people to enjoy that, which it has, it's done all of those things. But does me sitting at home without any makeup on and my tank top and a ponytail really portray someone who has successfully replaced her veterinary income with a home business? Probably. To the regular outsider, not to people who are within Beachbody, you get that that's what it's like, right? But I haven't portrayed that I'm a successful business owner in that way. So I'm not saying that I'm going to put on a cocktail dress and heels, because that's not me ever, unless like we're at a summit party or something and I have to. But, I'm still going to try I'm going to try to look the part that I want people to see. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Now, if you're working out, you're working out. It's just the way you look. But that's that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Here's another one. And I'm really glad I'm doing this on Holly's team because this is something that people say all the time. Like, there are too many coaches where I live. There's like 6 elite coaches in the city that I'm in. And shoot, Holly and I lived like 2 blocks from each other when I lived in Canby, market saturation. Holy cow. Can I tell you how many coaches live in Canby? But the difference is, and one of the things that Holly and I talked about was, she said this to me from day one, like, Shay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because not everybody is going to love me as their coach. They're going to find something about you that's more attractive to them. And that doesn't mean that, that's not saying anything against Holly. It's just, there's going to be things that people relate to because of me that I'm going to be a better fit for them as a coach. And there are going to be people that Holly's a better fit for. So it really doesn't matter if like everybody in your neighborhood is a coach, because it's not about everybody that you live around, right? Those are not the people you want to be attracting. Nobody's going to make a 6-figure income by only working with the people in the town that you live in, first of all. And second of all, there's something that's unique and different about you that's going to attract someone that's going to be different from somebody else, right? There's a reason that I was attracted to working with Holly, and I would not have necessarily had that same connection with someone else. So I don't worry about that. You should worry about it if you're trying to be like everybody else. Okay. So if you're 400,000 Beachbody coaches and you are marketing yourself as just a Beachbody coach and nothing else about you and what makes you unique and what makes you different, then you should be worried. But if you are putting your true, real self out there and marketing what's unique about you, then you're golden. You're golden. It doesn't matter if there are 7 million coaches, 10 billion coaches, because someone's going to be attracted to what you have to offer, not the other person. Okay. This is a good one. All right. We all have a ton of coaches that we see on our newsfeed, right? Like you see other people's posts, and there are probably other people's posts or people even that you follow that annoy you, or something that you see on there that you're like, oh, that's kind of creepy, or that doesn't look like me at all. I don't like that. And maybe it works for them. It very well may work for them because they have a different lifer than you do. But think about and write down those things that you want to avoid doing because they're not you, right? And let's not try to copycat everybody else, because again, we need to be just like us, just like our own unique selves. So, this is particularly relevant these days, but, dig deep, be real, right? Talk about the stuff that you think people already know. Like me, I talk all the time now about the fact that I'm a veterinarian, or I bring in that information because there are new people to my page every single day and they don't all know what I do. So I have to put it over and over again. And maybe there's some big long story, and I know this is some advice that Holly gives us all the time, but we want to break those stories up into little pieces. You don't have to share your big long story 100 million times, but you can break it up into little pieces and share pieces of it over and over and over again. Read the same content over and over again, just using different words. Right. You don't have to lead with your fitness. That can come later. You don't need to lead with a box of you holding a 21-day fix box. Talk about the things that in life that have been hard to overcome, and why is what you do that's important to you. Okay, I'm going to go backwards. So talking about things in life that have been hard to overcome, when I went through this exercise, I started thinking about a ton of stuff that I never share on social media. And it's not at all because I am ashamed of it or because I want to hide it. It's because it's just kind of ingrained as part of who I am. And I don't really feel like I've never really thought about it as something. It'd be like me saying I have brown hair, or blondish brown, depending on when I last got it highlighted. But gray, depending on when I last got it highlighted. But I don't need to tell people that because they can see it. So I have hypothyroidism, and mine is an autoimmune form of the disease that makes it very difficult to control. It's who I am, and I've known about it for 20 years. So it doesn't really I never really thought about the fact that I should be talking about that, but it definitely plays a part in my struggle in losing weight, and with hormone balance, and with life balance and emotion balance. My hypothyroidism plays a part in all of that. And you know what? There's probably millions of women out there that struggle with the same thing. So if I'm not saying this is something I struggle with, that I'm missing out on an opportunity to relate to someone and help someone. My son has ADHD, and it's a struggle that has been very difficult for us as a family. And he is doing if I had been doing this 5 years ago, it'd be a very different story, because it was very difficult back then, right? Now, he's doing fantastic. He is just blossoming and doing really well, except for on the days that, we have some struggles, but I don't even think about it. But you know what? There's probably a ton of moms out there who just found out their son has ADHD and have no idea how to handle that, or struggling with how to deal with the issues that they're coming up with, or struggles in school with it, or interpersonal relationships. And if I can share part of what we've learned in that process in little bits and pieces, not some big emotional story, but that could probably really help someone. And it's a struggle that we went through. I'm sure Holly remembers very well when I came crying to her at the kitchen table and said, please help me, I'm having a hard day. So I think, these are things that we don't always think about sharing on social media, that could probably really help someone if we've come out on the other side and learned some lessons from that. So that's pretty much it. You want to plan one post a day, no matter what it is, that is speaking directly to that one lifer, right? That one person that you've been thinking about while we've been talking about this. She needs one post a day, whatever it is. And, you want to be posting about your business 3 times a week. Does that mean that you need to say, hey, I want a new coach 3 times a week? No, but the post that you had last week, Holly, about you and Matt going out to lunch and having a salad, that's a great business post, because people are thinking, hey, I could go out with my husband and have a salad. That post was about her staying on her plan while she was out to eat. But I'm sure other people are thinking she works from home and goes to lunch with her hubby. You know, I mean, that's a great business post. I don't know if that was your intention, but it's a really good business post.
I'm muting myself to say those are the little jabs, right?
Oh, there's your jab hook, man. That's a good one. That's a good one. See, she's so smart. She's so smart. Stuff like that, you know, like going and getting your, I don't know, going to the park with your kids. I've got one this week about how I got to go to my son's band concert last week in the middle of the day. And that doesn't seem like much, but for the first, 8 years of his life, I could never go to school in the middle of the day and do something. But now that I stay home, I get to do that. And it was a really great experience for me. So just little stuff like that. No hot mess. That's just here I am with my, hair in a mess, and I just have something to say. So I'm going to put it on social media right now. Try to think a little bit about what you're portraying. Maybe that is what you want to portray, but just make sure that you know what it is that you're portraying when you pop on and have something to say. Oh, look at that. That was it. Is that the last one, really? Yes, it was. Get organized. There you go. Ta-da. I know that was long. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Okay, that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
I love really thinking, focusing on what you're saying, saying, don't be a hot mess or be a hot mess, depending on what you're trying. Like Kiana, one of the fellow elite coaches here that I'm friends with, that is exactly what she portrays on social media. That's part of her brand, is that she's a hot mess. Mm-hmm. That would kind of come out of right field if I were to pop on and be like, I'm a hot mess. I don't like to be, even though you guys get to see it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not really my brand, is being a hot mess. Mine is more like, I like my hair perfect.
Well,
you kind of focus on that stuff, who your target market is. I just love it, Shay.
Thank you.
I'm making notes of my next post as you're talking.
I really like it too. And what's interesting, and Holly knows this, I love to be really organized and have everything just so. And I've gone from planning out every single post that I'm going to make a week ahead of time, to having absolutely no clue what I'm going to post today. I have kind of gone through the gamut over the course of the last year or two. And where I'm at right now is I took this information in here. I'll pull it up so you can even see it. All right. This is so simple, compared to what I used to do. This is so simple. So my social media schedule, this is how I put it out there, is I looked at this information from my lifer. And in this top portion here, I just wrote down 8 or 10 things. Am I still sharing? I am, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I just wrote down 8 or 10 things that I thought that person, who I think my lifer is, wants to hear from me in a week, right? And then I decided, okay, I'm going to divide that up in the week. And that way, when I'm thinking, if I see a recipe that I want to use, I clip it in and I put it in to talk about later in the week. But I've kind of got myself an idea of the subjects that I want to talk about each day. And I've got 3 to 5 posts in here a day. That doesn't mean that I'm going to hit these every single week. All right. I'm never going to hit all of these posts every single week. But the idea is that if I at least have some kind of a plan in my head that all relates back to that one lifer, then I will be talking to them every week, at least once a day. Does that make sense? And so just even having that little plan is helpful to me.
Is that part of what you posted in the notes on the team page for us, Shay?
That social media schedule isn't. I did, and I can post it. That's just mine. But
would you mind just copying and pasting that in the comments below this video, and just giving everyone an example of what your lifer week setup could look like?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love for everybody to make that list and kind of have some idea in everybody's head of what it is that you're kind of going for on a weekly basis. It's easy to get lost and go, I don't know what to post today. And,
Yeah, and it is. It's hard. I know you and I've talked about that a lot. Some days it's I don't have anything to say. I'm all done. this gives me a jumping off point, you know? And the other thing is that I've been doing this long enough now to where I've got tons of content that I've posted before. And the simple truth is, people don't know if you repost it. So I'll take a post that I did about compassion fatigue 6 months ago. I'll use the exact same words and find a different picture. I'll use the same picture that I absolutely loved of some golden retriever running through the fields, and I'll say something different about it today. So repurpose your content, right? Like if you do a video, let's say you recorded some video about something, take that video and write out 3 posts, 3 different takeaways from the video that you did, and come up with some pictures. Then you just took that one video and made it into 4 pieces of content. And now, I mean, there's more ways that you could like have the video chopped up and edited and all that stuff, but like just repurposing your content if the message is similar, right? So that you're constantly talking to that same person and you're not driving yourself crazy. Mm-hmm. What I posted in the notes, in our page, were all of these slides, but they're in a handout format so that they have lines out beside them so that you can take notes for yourself about the answers to the questions. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm still making more notes about posts based on what you're saying. I love it.
I know. Well, it's awesome. It's really helped me because, I like to try out new things. I am a little bit of the shiny bright light syndrome, and Holly knows that. But
trying to bring this one in and focus is her. She's like, this. I love it all.
But I did used to do all of my posts for a week ahead of time. That was really nice because I would try to plan out a story I wanted to tell in the week, and that goes kind of along with the jab hook idea. Then I also had like ideas of things I wanted to post, and I actually paid a virtual assistant to come up with things for me. And what happened there is that I actually lost my own voice and it came off not being real or authentic. So I went away from that. This is the first time in years that I have really felt like everything I put out there is of value, because I'm speaking directly to one person. And the whole world doesn't know who she is, but I do. They just feel like I'm talking to them. And that's all that matters. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All
right. Posting is the number one thing that bogs coaches down. Time management. I think that we can all really rein in our time management on our invites, our follow-ups, posting in our challenge group and things like that, especially once everybody gets off and running. Sometimes that first challenge group, is building your own content if you don't want to just follow the guides from Beachbody. And then after that, like you say, you can repurpose your posts and it gets dialed in. But posting is the thing where I hear from coaches that takes them the most time, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's taking so much time. I don't know what to say. And then when I do, it takes me a long time to write out what I want to say. And I get that because I do that all the time. And so I really like what you're saying about if you have a list of who your lifer is and just breaking things into little pieces, taking time one day a week and I do this all the time, you guys. I never, unlike Shay, I am not fancy. If you want fancy and organized, Shay is your gal on our team. If you want, that's me. It's post. And I'm just writing down quick ideas. And I literally keep this right here by my computer all the time. And I'll be making breakfast and I run in here and I write post and I write out another idea. That way, when I come to my computer, I can look at these and go, okay, I'm going to do that one. And I bust it out real quick. Some of them take time, but some of them, you keep those ideas, writing them down somewhere, and you start getting so you can hammer them out and then reuse. Totally reuse, like Shay said. People don't remember what you said, and even if they do remember that you said something similar before, who cares? Put it out there again. It's fine. So,
well, and it takes like 10 or 15 times for people to get it. How many of you like connected with Holly the first time you ever saw something that she had to say, or your own upline, whoever that is, and said, oh yes, I totally get you. And I'm on board today. I'm so glad I saw you for the first time today. That never happens. So Thanks. Yeah, she knows it did not happen with me. I was like, Shakeology, that's the dumbest name of anything I've ever heard. Can't possibly
Big pulling her in.
um, but you know, the thing is that it takes people over and over and over again. So they need to hear the same information over and over again. You know, I'm not saying take every post you did from last week and do it today, but you can all scroll through your own timelines and see what you posted 4 months ago and say, man, that was a good post.
Yeah.
Shoot, that was good. Let me refigure that somehow and use that again.
And I think that what you'll also realize when you do that is even yourself rereading your own post, you're going to hear it differently than the day that you wrote it. And that really solidifies that your market is going to hear it differently the next time they hear it from you. That happens to me all the time. I'll go, I wrote that? Now, at the time, I probably had something very specific on my mind, but not knowing what that is today, when I reread it, I'm like, wow, that's it. That was interesting that I'm going to reuse that. So you can shorten things into time and focus on your target market. Anyone else have anything to say about that? I have one more thing for you guys.
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
So with all these posts, are you doing it on your business page or personal page? Both? A mix of them?
Shay?
Okay, so I am 80% on my business page. I can't sell anything from my personal page. So I do get new friends and new connections on my personal page, and I will try to post there multiple times a week just to and those posts get tons of likes, right? But that doesn't do me any good. It's not going to grow my business, and I'm not just on social media to make friends anymore. This is a business for me. And so wow, that sounded like super bam.
There you go.
All my stuff is on my business page. I will share things from my business page to my personal page about twice a week or so-ish. That's just how I'm doing it because I'm running almost all of my business now from my business page. What's interesting about that is that it's people coming over to my business page from my personal page that I probably would not have connected with otherwise, but so that's how I'm doing it. That's not how anybody else needs to do it, but that's how I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's really difficult one, Denise. Some people just make the leap and they go all business page and start really trying to grow it and sponsor their business page to get more likes and sponsor their posts so more people will see it. I do a mix, and I don't know what my percentages are to know what my mix is, most of my fitness stuff is on my business page, and I'll share some of it on my personal page. Most of my super personal stuff, well, when I say super personal, I mean not super personal. I mean
Joe playing baseball, like that.
Yeah, like unimportant, just daily life stuff is on my personal page. Like a picture of my cat, like I never put on my fitness page, but my friends like Fat Tiger, at least I think. So, that kind of stuff is on my personal page, and maybe I should do more of that on my business page. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. So you play with it, and I can't figure it out. Like the other day I was talking to Matt about my business page, and I'm like, why is it that this post about, what was it? The post I did where I wrote a long post about, and I took a selfie.
The one where you're like in the beauty contest?
Yes, it got organically like tons of likes before I even posted it. Not tons of likes, I'm sorry, tons of views. Organically, it was viewed like, well, not tons for me. I mean, I don't know. It was like organically viewed 400 and something times. Organically, without even posting, boosting. And I had just done a post that I thought was really good before it. Organically reached 8 people. Why was Facebook only showing it to 8 people? And my other one, I hadn't shared it yet or anything.
I noticed that they seem to take certain words like offer, sale, sell, anything like that, and they don't put it out there unless you boost it. Because I had done a post about how the grocery store was offering free fruit for kids.
Uh-huh.
And so it went to no one because it said offer. And then I got a little message that said, oh, you're doing an offer. So do you want to boost this post? And it was like, really?
Maybe that, it might be that, because actually I just went on my business page and I had that flip-flopped. So the one that I talked about, I'm not going to win a beauty contest, and I was talking about business and this plan, organically reached 238 people. My one before that, where I posted a picture of my pancakes and I never boosted it, organically reached 760. It's just a picture of pancakes. So I don't know, maybe that's it. Let me play one. I wish I had some awesome. Mom is calling. Hello?
I'm so sorry.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, that's what that's about. So sorry, you guys. It's always changing. The Facebook,
At least you're not in the middle of class.
Right? Then that has happened. But not anymore, right? Because I quit teaching. The Facebook algorithms are always changing. They're always changing. And so it's almost impossible. But I will tell you that video, beyond anything else, especially live video on Facebook, even though it's been crashing like nonstop lately, will always get better organic views than anything. And so if there's a post that's like a picture that you want people to see, try doing a live video before it. This is one of it's a jab type thing. But if you do a live video and then you do a post, organically it will get better views, which is totally weird to me, but it tends to work for me. What I've started doing, and again, I think you just have to be willing to change with the times because the algorithm changes on a daily basis, I think, with Facebook. But if there is a post of mine that I think my lifer wants to see that Facebook isn't showing, I boost it, but I boost it for like $1.
Right. Yes. Doesn't have to be much.
It doesn't. I've stopped the $5 and $6 boosts unless it's something that's going to add to like a challenge group or coaching opportunity or one of my free downloads or something like that. Those I will boost for more than $1 or $2. But almost all of my, just like it's a post that I want more people to see, it's like $1. And I usually wait 24 hours to boost it, because almost always it will suddenly have more organic views the next time. And it does make a difference how many organic views it has before you boost it, changes how many it will get after you boost it.
That's interesting. Thank you for that. I did not know that.
It's all crazy town. It's all crazy town. Up in Facebook land, it's crazy town.
The long answer to your question, Denise, is we don't know. Keep playing with it. When you write out your posts, I would just kind of glance over them when you write out post ideas and just kind of maybe make notes of personal page business, personal business, and just kind of then go. Sometimes I put things on my personal page just so that I've had a presence that day, like sharing a funny video that I'm like, okay, I'll just share this so that I have a presence, because I don't really have much to say on my personal page because I was posting on my business page, things like that. Just grab something simple sometimes. And people love videos. I mean, I just shared that one of the water slide thing in Hawaii and was like, this looks like fun or something. And everyone was like, yes. It's fun. I would like to go. Anyway, here's my challenge to you guys. As we are at the end of the month here and some people are still, trying to finish out Success Club, which you got to do if you want to see the progress, to keep yourself feeling like you're moving forward, to keep yourself motivated, to keep on going, right? So here's my challenge. Today, you're going to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to post a fitness picture of yourself. Like if you are willing to do a bra top picture, do it. Otherwise in fitness clothes, but I would do a fitness picture of yourself and post it and the way you feel and the plan that you're doing, something to that effect. People love to see actual progress pictures. It doesn't have to be a progress side by side. It could if you're ready to do that, but it can just be a fitness picture. When people see the reality of what they could have that is just real and relatable to your lifer, like Shay was saying, that is when they go, okay, I want to do that. I could do that. I would like to have her stomach or whatever it is that you're going to showcase. I would like to have her arms, whatever. Talk about how you feel. And, you know, that is my challenge. I know it's super out of people's comfort zone. And sometimes you guys have thought that it's not comfortable for me either. I don't enjoy doing fitness pictures. I try and walk a line that is going to relate to my lifer as a mom. My lifers are not people that look for sexy pictures, but I also want them to be inspired by, I know that my lifers are inspired by wanting to look a certain way. So how do I find that line? These are things that I look at. So you're going to really look at your lifer and what it is that you put out there. And then that's my challenge to you. Whatever that would look like for your lifer, put out a fitness picture and do a post about how you feel and what program you're doing. Okay. Because some of you guys do really great posts and then you put like one of those word memes and people are going to scroll past it. I want to see a picture of you. And then those people that like it, you can actually follow up with. All right, there's my challenge for you, team. And before we finish up here, I'm going to roll the wheel. I wanted to share my screen and do it on here, but I couldn't.
How about if I stop sharing and then you can?
I typed it in on my phone, so I can't share my screen. I had to do it on my phone while you were talking because I thought it wouldn't let me out to do it on my computer, or I was afraid it was going to mess up the recording. Anyway, so our Success Club wheel, I mean, nothing like, you know, doing that on the 24th of the month from the previous month, but hey, it's getting done. So $25 gift cards, whoever comes up. And remember, everybody who makes Success Club gets their name on this random wheel. Everybody who makes Success Club 10 or more gets their name on twice. So they have double the chance. So I'm going to press the little button and I don't know if, yep, you guys can see it spin. Shelby. Congratulations, Shelby. You get a $25 gift card just for making Success Club. She actually did make Success Club 10, so her name was on the wheel twice, so congratulations. I'm training Matt to do the recognition for our team, so that was stalling us out because I was working with him on that. So hopefully next month he's going to know how to do it himself and be able to roll recognition out right away so we're not waiting on me. Okay. Thank you so much, Shay. I love your wisdom and your words, and we all appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I've got a couple more that, you know, if everybody wants to, I don't know what's in there, but there are other ones like on video and stuff like that.
Good. Shay does a lot of work on social media stuff, so it's really where people need a lot of training, and I really appreciate your time this morning.
You're welcome. All right.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for being on. Have an awesome week. Let's see those posts. I can't wait to see those fitness posts. Okay. All right. Bye, you guys.